The man who took my wife bragged to me when he got her pregnant. Now he's lost their child and is furious at me for not mourning their loss. My ex, Sarah, left me for Mark 2 years ago. The day she moved out, he actually helped her pack. I'll never forget watching him load boxes into his SUV while wearing this arrogant smirk like he'd won a trophy. The first time I met him was at a corporate gala. I was holding our infant son when he walked up, looked me right in the eye, and said, "Better step up your husband game or I might take her away from you." I laughed it off, thinking it was a joke. 3 months later, he did exactly that. Turns out they'd been having an affair for half a year. She told me she was pulling late shifts on a big account. The account was him. Here's the thing though, I got everything in the divorce. The house, the Jeep, my 401k, all of it. Why? Because I caught her during what my lawyer called the affair fog. She was so infatuated and guilty that she signed whatever I put in front of her just to leave faster. We split custody 50/50 for our 2 sons because, despite everything, I wanted them to have both parents. I'm civil at soccer games and drop-offs. I say hello, confirm the schedule, and hand over the kids' backpacks. That's it. Beyond our boys, I couldn't care less what happens in their lives. August rolls around and Mark shows up for pickup instead of Sarah. He practically struts toward me, flashing a gold band on his finger. "I wanted you to be the first to know," he says, grinning. "I was hoping you and the boys could make it to the ceremony. I was rushing to get our dog to the emergency clinic. I just said, 'Congrats,' waved him off, and drove away. I got angry texts from Sarah later about how dismissive I was. October, same situation. He corners me during pickup. 'Big news, man. Sarah's pregnant.' He's standing there waiting for me to congratulate him or something. I said, 'That's nice,' and turned to help my youngest with his seatbelt. He seemed genuinely offended that I didn't engage. January was worse. I'm waiting in the school parking lot when they both walk up. Before I can even say hello, Mark literally shouts across the lot, 'Sarah's finally having a girl!' I looked at him and said, 'I'm sure Sarah's thrilled to have an heir to inherit her kingdom and titles.' Dead silence. Then Sarah's brother, who was there picking up his own kids, burst out laughing. Her whole family thought it was hilarious. Mark's face went bright red. He grabbed the boys and walked away without another word. Sarah sent me a long text that night about respecting Mark's role in our sons' lives. That was the last time I saw him until today. They walked up to my car together and something was immediately wrong. Mark looked absolutely broken. His eyes were bloodshot and his hands were shaking as he approached. Sarah had this hollow expression like she'd been weeping for hours. "We lost the baby," Mark said quietly, his voice cracking. He just stood there staring at me, clearly expecting some kind of emotional reaction. I took a breath and turned to Sarah. "Leo's birthday party is tomorrow at 2 p.m. Don't forget he's sensitive to the red dye in those grocery store cupcakes, so I got the organic ones. Mason has karate at 4 p.m. He needs his clean gi." Mark's face completely shifted. The grief turned into pure fury. He started screaming right there in the parking lot. "Are you serious right now? We just lost our daughter and you're talking about birthday snacks? You're a heartless piece of trash. You're just bitter because she chose me." He grabbed the boys' duffel bags from my trunk and stormed toward their car. A few other parents had stopped to watch. Sarah stepped closer, keeping her voice low. "You could show a little compassion toward Mark, regardless of your feelings about me. He is your son's stepfather. He's been good to them." I looked at her directly. "First of all, I don't care about what you're going through. Outside of our kids, I don't care about you or Mark or whatever crisis you've got going on. Second, I don't owe Mark anything. Not sympathy, not pity, and definitely not fake condolences." She opened her mouth to say something, but I kept going. "He helped you betray me. He gloated about stealing you. He showed up at my house multiple times trying to force some weird friendship that I never asked for. Now he's mad that I won't perform grief for him. That's not how this works." Sarah's eyes filled with tears. "That's really cold." "Maybe," I said, getting back in my car. "But it's honest. See you tomorrow at 2. I drove away and left them standing there. My phone's been blowing up ever since. Sarah's family calling me cruel. Her friends saying I should be the bigger person. Even my own cousin texted asking if I was okay because word travels fast. I don't wish anything bad on them. I'm not celebrating their loss. I'm just not participating in their lives beyond what involves my sons. That's the boundary I set 2 years ago when they destroyed my world. Mark wanted me in his life so badly he wanted us to be buddies. Wanted me at his wedding. Wanted me to celebrate his baby news, but he never once considered what I wanted. And what I want is to coexist peacefully for my kids while keeping everything else at arm's length. So, no, I won't pretend to care."